Grand Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show. My name is Andre Hill. I'm your host, and we have our serious panel in here, the UAAR, the United Aboriginal American Republic. We have the Deputy Chief, we have our engineer and Juris Doctor, and we got Shaz coming in. Mama Kali had some business to take care of, and the chairman is out on the road traveling. He's a traveling old brother.
Yeah. Trying to be moving.
He keeps it moving.
Moving.
Anyway, we're going to start with the bottom of the corner there. Hey, Deputy Chief, you up in the Atlanta area where Mama Kali is. What's going on up there, man?
Oh, man. Speaking about Mama Kali, I have had the blessing to be able to take my mother and my two princesses out there to the land and spend some time with Mama Kali and loving on her a little bit and listening to the legacy, and it was a beautiful, beautiful time. Since then, I have been working on the amazing ecosystem of the UAAR and everyone underneath that, moniker. So it's been a great week, Chief, and I am excited.
You should be, because you're laying the foundation for the salvation of all of our people, all of our Coppertone people, not only here in the Americas, but all over the world. So keep up the good work. Also, we have our engineer. Are you still under the weather, man, or do I need to mention that?
Nah, I mean, look, I'll tell them. Peace, family. I'm here for us. Woke up a little headacheish this morning, but maybe I got excited because we know we're gonna be speaking to y'all this evening, so it's somewhat subsiding. So it's all good. We ain't gonna complain or none of that. I'm here, healthy enough to show up, and we're gonna make it a good show regardless.
All right. So we're waiting on the Grand Empress to get back on. She's down in South Florida, and she's got some serious information to back up. Anybody that saw my Facebook promo yesterday, man, we had quite a few viewers of that promo. And if you want listening today, we're going to give you some proof, more proof. And this is what we're doing. Not only are we explaining to you that these folks, these other cultures, they ain't our friends. They can't be as long as the Luciferian agenda is going on, because the Luciferian agenda is designed to eliminate the Coppertone people from the planet. So, so we have to understand specifically, we have to help out the people. And especially one of the things I talked about was my generation. The ones in the 40s, they call them the silent ones. And the reason, and I thought about it, the reason they call the silent ones, because I have close family relatives, and they sit back and they just quiet. I said, y'all don't want to talk about what they're doing to us? No. I said, do you know they killed your son and did this? And y'all don't want to talk about it? Well, I got my check coming. So, that's why I had to apologize on behalf of our generation. And then the ones in the 50s, they're the ones that went for the okadoke, the economic okadoke in the 60s, go get a college degree, pledge into a fraternity or sorority, and get you a check. Get corporate America to give you, and if you got a BA, you're going to get paid this amount. If you got a master's, you can get paid this amount. And you want to really be brainwashed and go back and get a PhD, even an extra $50,000 bonus to sell your people out. And if you stand here at the gate, make sure that they don't come through here on an equal basis. We got to change, folks. We got to change. I know I'm calling you out, but it's time. That passive attitude has got to stop. Our children are in trouble. And just because they don't want to go along with your BS, with the BS that we fell for, I fell for it too, but I woke up, all right? Just because they don't want to go along with it, working for 65 years for a corporation, and while their children enjoy the profits from your work, and then you retire, you might get a retirement check and a 401k for $2,000 or $3,000, but if they crash the stock market, that's gone, Social Security, it's a Ponzi scheme as well, gone. So our attempt is to awaken you to the reality of what's going on. So while Shaz is tuning in, man, play that first video. We're gonna play some videos, and that'll start off the discussion today. Also, and also we got the deputy chief. Deputy chief gonna bring us some information today to get us really hooked up. You know, give you some confidence. Go ahead and hit it, man. Let's go.
Just approved forced labor from people that they detained by a group called the GEO group. Now, if you know anything about black codes, they were laws specifically just for black people. Vagrancy laws, not being able to read, being out past curfew, that would make it so that a black person would go to prison for a made-up crime. It's almost like slavery.
Okay, so here is the main point. First of all, a recessive gene culture. They're either going to be on the top or on the bottom. And since the Luciferian agenda gave this recessive gene authority over the original melanated humans, on the top, they don't want to let go of this system. They have to, if they're going to be on the top, they have to enslave you. They cannot allow you to be a free thinker. They can't allow to tell you the whole truth about extraterrestrials, about how this system really came about, how the religions were created by the low frequency entity, Lucifer, all the religions. I know that's upsetting to her, but all of them were designed to control you. So these systems produce slavery, you know, and then the slavery, of course, a lot of you are familiar with the Willie Lynch letter, How to Make a Slave. There is a particular scientific outline, step by step by step, of how to enslave a species. And so that document, that scientific document was given to the recessive gene to control and rule. And that's why we got all this craziness going on. This is why our planet is in the condition that it is. And pretty soon, I know this is getting slight off topic. I'm trying to give Shaz a minute to tune in. Pretty soon, our atmosphere is going to be just like Nibiru's. Now, you got to pay attention when I'm getting ready to say it. Nibiru's atmosphere was destroyed, and they needed gold particles to spray up in their atmosphere to protect it so that they can continue to survive. And so what happened? They came to Earth and they started developing the human species. Hey man, did you see that video I sent you about that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I sent it to you, and free air. Yeah. So it's in alignment as to how we came together as a species. And so when these Anunnaki came here to Earth and they developed us as a species, they used us to mine for the gold so that they can pack it up and ship it to Nibiru, and they grinded it up and shot it in the atmosphere to protect the atmosphere. We're working on getting out, you know, with this global warming situation, we're getting to the point where our atmosphere is going to be pretty much the same. And then we're going to have to grind, we're going to have to go to another primitive planet and dig for some gold, because I'm quite sure the Anunnaki had not stole, but taken most of the gold out of this planet. And, you know, and so, but here is the deal. Here's the point I'm getting at, back to the slavery part. Every species that's developed, if you are an advanced species and you go to a new planet and you develop a lower frequency species, you have a time period in which you can take advantage of them, use them, manipulate them for your bidding. But at a certain point, the contract is up. This is in the Galactic Council of Understanding, of the Prime Directive of Understanding. And so we are here now. These other civilizations, some of them benevolent, some of them malevolent, they have users or they have experimented with us. So now the contract is up And it's time for us to become independent. It's time for us to submit in our application to the Supreme Galactic Council that we are civilized, that we understand unconditional love. We understand we need to treat each other the way we want to be treated. We need to understand it doesn't matter whether you have a 6th grade education or a PhD. You have something to contribute to the whole. And so once we are ready as a collective to demonstrate this, then the Galactic Council will come to the planet. They will open doors. They will give us the technology where you have no more rent, no more electric bills, no more water bills. All of that bull crap was just set up by the Luciferian agenda through the churches and religions to control us. So that's where we are. So I think Shaz is having, and we're going to come back to this slavery part. I think Shaz is having some technical difficulties getting back on, because let me tell you why. She and I talked this morning. She's down in South Florida, and we talked about an institution that is reestablishing slavery on a grand level down in the Dominican Republic. And so all of a sudden now her technology is jammed up. So we're gonna skip to and come back. We want to talk to the deputy chief, because deputy chief has been working, man. He's setting up systems so that all of the resources in the copper tone Aboriginal indigenous communities can be recirculated back in our own society.
That's right.
Hey man, you got the floor. Go ahead and work your magic.
Deputy Chief here. Listen, so when I was voted in this position, I gave a dissertation to the nation in reference to some key points that we wanted to establish, and this was only 3 weeks ago. Since then, I want to rattle off a few things. One, we have an initiative that the elders are voting on right now, which is called Running for My Life. It's a 5K designed to bridge the gap between law enforcement and community, and it's also a way for our tribes and nations to bring in revenue to assist these families who have been victimized by abuse of power and police. We created another initiative called Skating for My Life, which is the roller skating version of Running for My Life. We have partnered with some amazing roller skate groups around the country to create a Southeast tour, 20 different events taking place over the next 6 months. And you just got to bear with me. I'm a little excited, Chief, because we have an entertainment company. So when we're telling our people, hey, listen, being sovereign is about more than just your identity. It's about more than just where you live. It's also about the things that you participate in. It's where you spend your money, right? And so if we're telling people, hey, don't go over there and spend your money with us, but we don't have anywhere for you to do that, then that makes us look bad, right? So over the past few years and over the past few weeks, I have been working on such initiatives to replace some of these utilities that we have come to love and enjoy. Some of which are television programming. By on or before Thanksgiving, we have 3 new platforms that are coming to the public. We have Moonroof Plus, which is kind of like your MTV and Red Bull. This is our younger generation's outlet. This is music and entertainment. We have the Vow Network, which is Voices of Women. That platform has already been built completely. This is for our Black-owned, women-led content network, creating space for women's voices, stories, leadership, and culture across premium programming. Then our Netflix rival is called Tahuti TV. And this is for our subscription streaming. We will have a free account, right? This is for film, television, documentary, music videos, and creator published content. We have a technology company, Ludi and Forge. For all of you out there that's purchasing land and you're looking to build and rent homes and sell homes and that type of thing. We have Patsy, which is our platform that bridges the gap between tenant, landlord, and service provider. We have an outgoing service to bring in money from the outside world called Booter Buddy, and that's your virtual parking pass company. We have the Family Unites, which is a governing assistant initiative for all tribes. And the purpose of that is to create initiatives that will either put boots on the ground for your tribe or your nation. It will bring forth some finances for your community, initiatives in different avenues of approach in reference to, boots on the ground efforts, fundraising, and getting the word out, contract development and treaties, that type of thing. I'm very, very excited about the next thing, which is called the OX market. This is our first Black stock exchange or Aboriginal stock exchange. You're not going to find Nike on there. You're not going to find Adidas on there. You're not going to find any of those corporations on there. But what you may find is Lula May's granddaughter, who is trying to start a lemonade stand in her neighborhood, and she needs $2,000, to do that. You may find, Terrence, who's over there trying to create a telescope to see Mars and Venus, and he needs $500,000. He's on that stock exchange. You're going to find viable businesses that are vetted to make sure that your investments are safe. We've created our Black-owned rideshare company, which is called Cousin. Cousin is also going to be paired with our new initiative to bring farmers to families' tables, which is called Rooster Bibs. You understand? And so with Rooster Bib, you're going to be able to pair a farmer with a family using the community to bridge that gap as a distribution center. You understand? So these churches that still exist, we'll find use for them. We'll find use for them. We'll find use for them, sir. We're going to phase them out into the truth. But until then, we'll find use for them. The community centers that you all are going and playing basketball and all this other stuff and teaching crochet and all, they're going to become distribution centers. Grandma's house that's big and she's got the freezer in the garage and this big, all this stuff. And she's going to be able to facilitate. This is a new age coming. UAAR Nation is not playing with nobody's kids. Do you understand what I'm saying? We are here. We're putting our stamp in the community. We're putting our stamp in the ecosystem. We've created an ecosystem, and we just invite you to come and be a part of it. I land the plane.
Hey, man, you're talking about, now that's exciting. And, there is no other option. We're here for, we're sincere. We're not here playing games. We're not here putting together no get rich quick scheme. This generation, a deputy chief and my son, these guys need the support from the quiet ones and the gatekeepers that realize that your gate is no longer there. They don't need you at the gate anymore. They have accomplished their mission. They have stole trillions. Even 9/11, $1 trillion that disappeared that was going to the Pentagon. And so they fired a missile into the Pentagon to tear apart, to blow up all the records. These demons, they are not about nothing but ripping you off. And you go into work every day paying taxes into this BS. Yeah. I don't think so. So anyway, we're gonna get back to the slavery part. This is why you have no options, and they're moving into the final phase. I mentioned in my promo on Facebook, that there was a former Rifle Association president. He said that there's just a matter of time before we own slaves again. And I got fired. As soon as I came home, I was volunteering, and I brought this to one of the administrators, and I got fired off of the job just because I brought this up. So Shaz is back in. She has some difficulties, and we're gonna go back to her. Shaz, Are there any examples of slavery getting momentum to be re-implemented into our society? Oh,
She froze.
she froze. Boy, they don't want this knowledge to come out. Wow, y'all better really pay attention, man, because this is going to demonstrate to you, what this whole slavery system was all
I
about.
think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on this morning.
You
Yes,
know,
we have modern day examples of what is currently happening. I don't even think is what's about to happen, because by the time it hits the news, it's probably been going on for 20 years or more. Right? They keep us in the dark for as much as they possibly can. But like they say, what happens in the dark must come to light. It's
Come
going
to
to
the
be
light.
illuminated, right? We have, before I hit on the Fayu family, I'm going to hit on the fact that for years, some Walmarts have been closing down. You will see it reported, like X amount of Walmarts are closing down. And then what I learned is that they were taking these Walmarts and turning them into private correction institutions, privately owned. There are a lot of privately owned correction institutions in the United States. And an empty bed in a correction facility is as bad as an empty bed on a cruise ship, an empty seat on a plane, an empty bed in a hotel. Okay? Or even a hospital. Once the day is gone and that bed is empty, they're not gonna make money off of it. You can't turn the clocks back. So it behooves them to keep you sick, to arrest you and incarcerate you, to make sure you don't cancel your cruise ship, or they're gonna drop the price so you could afford to take that flight. Because the money is important. Back in the day, I think like in 2003, I know that one inmate in a county jail, not even in a prison, in a county jail was worth $175 million. All right? They get that funding from the government.
Yes.
So why, if I'm a warden, I'm walking around seeing an empty bed, I'm pissed. Because I must have a bonus attached to those beds, those fill beds. No, how, you can't go out and just drag somebody and bring them in. We got room. Now, I'm going to hit on the sugar industry. Sugar was always a valuable commodity. Sugar used to be worth more than gold back in the day, because only rich people could afford sugar. And I guess that's why, black people have, I should say melanated people have such a sweet tooth or have this addiction to sugar, because we didn't used to have it. So when we got it, you kind of got addicted to it. Sugar has ruled the world. It has produced millionaires, billionaires, and perhaps trillionaires as far as we know. Now, there has been a family that came from Cuba when Castro came into power. So that's probably like 1959, and they came to the United States. They're called the Fayuls. It's called Fajul. J in Spanish is pronounced like Y, so they call Fayul. You need to look them up. Okay, the Fayuls. And they probably came into Miami, but they ended up living in Palm Beach County, in West Palm Beach, living a very luxurious and elite lifestyle. And they happen to own one of the biggest privately owned landmass in the United States and also in the Dominican Republic. We have the sugarcane plantations here in Florida, where they call them the muck, over there in Belgrades and those places, where they call over there the muck. They refer to those people as the muck people. Yeah, they muck people because you're not mucking up their lungs. In my research, what I found out is when they were burning the cane, if the wind direction was leading towards Palm Beach, where the rich people live, they stopped burning the cane, so that they wouldn't get all the ash and all the carcinogens and everything that was going over there. When the wind direction went in the other direction to where the low income people live, the melanated people live, they allowed the sugar cane to burn. Now, I have friends that live in the Belgrade area, And it was so interesting that I was reading this story because they never shared that to me. Everything over there was ashy. These people's homes are infested with cockroaches, like German cockroaches. It's all in their cars. It's in their handbags. It's everywhere, and it's coming from the sugarcane plantation, from the factories or wherever they're processing the sugar cane. And they have to live with that. They have learned to live with it. Like I had them in my car at one time, and then next thing you know, I had all these roaches in my car, these German roaches. So it came from that. But I'm gonna go now. Continue talking about the Fayous. So they came here, probably came with some money, but like within 2 years, they were able to raise $640,000, and then they were able to get land in the Dominican Republic, and they created this sugar plantation over there, and they hired people from Haiti or Haitian descendants to work on these plantations. A lot of the Haitians may have entered the country illegally. They're undocumented. They will have these people working extreme hours, like 13 hours a day in 3-degree weather conditions, and they will pay them $125 a month. Now, America got to find out about it. They had to have known because they partner with everybody, right? During the Biden administration, I guess they were trying to be benevolent, humanitarian, somewhere along the line. So they had banned the import of sugar. Now, it wasn't Biden that did it. It was under his administration. When I was reading, it was the Customs and Border Patrol that put that ban into effect to ban the sugar from coming in from the Dominican Republic because of the unfair work conditions for these people, the inhumane work conditions, right? Like they allowed the people to live on the plantation. They gave them housing, but these, like shacks with no running water, no electricity. They didn't have access to medical treatment or anything, right? They just treat them horribly. Now, when the FBI was going there to investigate, they start destroying the homes. Some of the adults were able to get them, but some of them, the kids were still in the houses when they just brought in bulldozers and bulldozed the properties. Right, and then they will say, "Oh no, we don't have that type of condition going on over here. You can come see." Especially if they knew they were coming, they start knocking the houses down, right? But these people, these Fayous, and you're going to be familiar with these names that I'm calling: Florida Crystals, Dixie Crystals, and who's the other one we have for sugar in this place? Just a minute. Domino Sugar.
Yeah.
They own all of these companies. All right. And for the past 65 years, I've been running it. The father passed on the business to his two sons. The father's name was Pepe Fayul. Two sons, one was named Alfonso Fayul, and the other one is Jose Pepe Fayul Jr. Well, one of them died about 2 weeks ago. And I was doing more research. I was in a rabbit hole, right? Then I found out that his son got arrested last year, and it's on video, got arrested for domestic violence, beating up his girlfriend, and the police arrested him. It was like a long video from arrest in the house where he's begging, "Please don't take me down. Please don't take me down," because his white privilege and wealth makes him feel that he was above getting arrested. This was in Palm Beach County, by the way, where I got pulled over. But they took him down anyway. And they have people on the news who are vouching for them, for the dead man, saying, he was so kind. It was so kind because they looked after their people. Even after disasters, they will call them to make sure they were okay, and for other people in the community. And that may be so in America, but then the people that were talking, none of them look like us. So maybe, and I'm sure we had to be working in the sugarcane factory too. But you probably look out for those people, but you didn't look out for us. And I say that to say this, that we are supporting companies and principles and doctrines, I should say, that are not for us. How many people can't do without sugar? My girlfriend got to get 6 teaspoons in a cup of coffee. The addiction to sugar
Serious.
is real. I'm glad I don't have a sweet tooth, but the majority of people have a sweet tooth. And it's sugar, sugar, sugar. Everywhere you go, everything is sweet. Everything is, loaded with sodium. It's loaded with fat. It's not meant for us. They probably got off sugar though. I'm sure they probably don't even use sugar, right? But they have us hooked on this sugar, and then you now have a whole slavery situation going on here that we didn't know about. Okay, I'm sure the same thing is happening between. Listen to me. Their sugar plantation in the United States is being fertilized from water from the Okeechobee River, Okeechobee Lake, for free. Okay,
Wow.
for free. And then they let all the toxic stuff into the Florida Bay that is affecting people, that is affecting your health. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. Like, can I get people to say no more sugar? You can start cutting back a little bit at a time. Just start cutting back to where you don't miss it. I'm telling you, when I was diagnosed with cancer of the cervix, and then 23 years later diagnosed with cancer of the pancreas, the first things that I cut out was anything that had sugar, because cancer loves sugar. It loves it. That's you like feeding it. The second time that I had, before I was diagnosed, I noticed that I had this addiction to, well, I should say a taste for apple pie. I'm at my girlfriend's birthday party in the Bahamas, and I have a video with me eating cake. People know, like, I don't eat cake like that. I just had this taste for this cake. I have the big piece of cake in my hand. She had some Baileys. I don't drink. I took a sip. I said, "Oh, this tastes good. Pour me some." On the way going home, I said to her, "You have ice cream at home?" She says, "Like, for who?" I said, "For me." She said, "Ice cream? Since when you eat ice cream?" I fell for ice cream. So I was feeding that squatter that was squatting on my pancreas that I didn't even know was there. It was just having a good old party. Okay? But as soon as I found out, I cut it out. That is the downfall for everything that we're going through, health-wise, and the woman, health-wise, and the men. The men are getting erectile dysfunction because of sugar. Women are having all kinds of reproductive issues because of sugar. So we need to change that, because we helping them people to enslave us. But every time we have an urge for sugar and we buy sugar, we are helping them to enslave us.
So let me, the question here is that this sugarcane industry, of course, they donate,
That part, I forgot that.
Yeah, they donate to both parties.
Both parties.
Yeah, and to make sure that their legislation is passed for them to get. So once that mentality, that slave master mentality, gets into our political system, just like Israel and the Catholic Church and all these other criminals, that puts them in a position to enslave us. They gentrification, cutting out the jobs, and if we solely rely on the system of these demons, they're going to tighten the ring. And in order for you to survive, you have to kiss the ring. You have to kiss the king's ring. And the king is beholden to the Luciferian agenda, which includes several layers of evil. I'd
like to say something there.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say something, because you brought up the point, which is my main point, and I forgot it, about them donating bipartisanly, right? But they have it down to a science. The two sons, one is Republican and one is Democrat. So what does that mean? They always gonna have a seat at the table. They always gonna have a seat at the table. Like, we complain all the time that people get into office and they don't take care of us and da 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 da. And I always ask, well, how much did you donate to the campaign? If you're not contributing to the campaign, they're not gonna take care of you. And none of these people who are contributing are voting. I have never seen an Orthodox Jew, an Orthodox Arab, an Orthodox Asian person. I've never seen none of these people standing in line to vote. But what I do know is that they donate to both parties. If they put 5 million over here, they'll put 5 million over there. They are paying to play. So it doesn't matter who is in office. They are winning. They're winning. So that they play that game really good, because they donated to two parties, and the two brothers decided, well, you be Republican and I'll be Democrat. And so when in 2022, I said, is when they had the ban on importing sugar from the Dominican Republic. Well, recently, our Uncle Donald has lifted the ban to allow them, because when he realized that they weren't using sugar in Coca-Cola anymore. They're using a substitute. And he's like, what? That's affecting our income. So he says, no, we got to start bringing this sugar back into the United States from the Dominican Republic and put that sugar in the Coca-Cola. I land.
All right, all right. So this is part of what we're doing for our people. We come on this show every Saturday to bring these points to you so that you can make an educated choice, decision. The APAC, I mentioned this in the my promo yesterday. They have spent $104.3 million donating to the campaign. Now, why are they doing it? And where did they get the little country Israel, where did they get $100 million from? That's our money. So they're going to con and take our money, take it to Israel, set it up in these accounts, then come back and donate for our destruction. Because trust me, those people, the way they're taking them Palestinians' houses, that they don't, like I mentioned it, they don't do gentrification like how they redline us and zone us out and get developers to come in and buy. They just get a pistol, go and say, we taking your property. That's their gentrification. Go ahead, Deputy Chief, what were you going to say?
Oh, you're on mute, brother. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
We used to do it the same way. I think the mindset that I would rather our people be at, because I don't think any other mindset has really been fruitful, is athletics, right? This is a sport, and this is a sport that's been going on since the world's been turning. Conquer. It's a sport, right? And those who have been X'd out of the land had time to get together and decide how the rest of the world would become underneath their feet. If you were pushed out and you couldn't enjoy the sun, you couldn't enjoy the land, and you hear these people trampling on top of you, you can hear them having fun and gallivanting all across, you know what I'm saying, the world, right? And you're in these mountains. You can't enjoy the sun. It's burning up your skin. You can't enjoy the food. It's killing you. It's all these things, right? So now you get together and you say, hey, how are we going to be on the land? And then somebody go, oh, I know. We can have everyone under our feet. So they got together and they created this plan, right? And they put those who were nice out first. They're like, hey, we're going to put them out there. We're going to let them scour the land and make friends and do all this stuff. And while they make friends, we'll be back here bubbling it up. How do we know? Because the same thing happened at the bank when they decided to take our people's land. There was nobody that you could talk to at the bank that had an evil spirit. You went down to the bank and you was like, why are they taking my land? And Miss Jackson was like, sweetie, I don't know why this is happening. I don't have any control over this. Is corporate. Corporate is the one that's in control. I can't do nothing, baby. If I could do something, trust and believe I'd do it. So you was like, okay, call me if anything changes, right? So now that we know the sport, we got to get better at playing it. This is why the UAAR exists. We understand the sport. So until an economic plan was put in place, until boots on the ground could be organized in a fashion that actually had fruit, some of our leaders had to sit in the back and they said, we're going to formulate this plan until we get some ants to go out and make some friends. And so now the ants here, and I'm going to go out and make some friends with all of you. I need everybody who's on this live, anybody who has a love for the Black culture, anybody who has a love for their children, for their grandparents, because your grandparents came before you and they saw this day coming way before you were born. So you have a responsibility in that vision. You got a responsibility to the future. Our children are not having kids. They're not dancing. And the removal of dancing in public takes lust out of the human eye. And without lust, there is no connection if you're not doing it from a spiritual perspective. And 18, 19, 20 years old, they're not really thinking about the spiritual perspective. They're thinking about nature. And our nature is being taken from us because it's so difficult to exist. You understand? This is why it's important for us to buy land so we can shake it on the land. And so we can see you shaking it, and we can say, hey, Queen, you know what? I'm going to protect you. You rock with me. I'm going to rock with the nation, and we going to be good. You understand? Let's have some babies. And then babies get to occupy the land, and that's how we continue this narrative. But if you want to stay over there in that $500,000 house, and you're like, oh, I'm good with them $2 million in that account, and you feel like you don't have any responsibility to this nation or this movement or any movement that mimics this, then I'm sad to say you're watching your demise. I just took a trip down the street, 15 minutes down the road. I counted out 11 robots, 11 of them. Whose jobs do you think they took first? I'll land the plane.
All right. So, hey, man, while you load up that next video, and then since you've been quiet, I want you to comment on it once you get it loaded up. So also, I was having a discussion here with my son this morning. His grandmother had a pie company here in the Florida area that was slated to hire thousands of people and produce natural food, natural products. And mysteriously, she came up with cancer, and they killed her, murdered her with the chemotherapy. You know, and so in the same area, within a 3-mile radius, here I am. The community I lived in was majority Aboriginal indigenous people. They've been all moved out. Right across the street, there is a 20-story hotel being built. I ran the numbers on it. I'm a construction estimator, and I come out with the average square footage and the average cost per square footage. Another culture that has just come into America within the last 60 years financed this hotel. My estimated cost $204 million. All right. I asked my son, I said, hey man, where they get $204 million to come into the hood and build this hotel? And why can't none of our developers do that? So anyway, go ahead and play this video.
That is, the present international monetary system cannot be rescued. If you try to rescue it, you will lose the planet. You have to choose. Replace the system or get a new planet. Those are your choices, essentially. That is the present.
All right, now, look, I don't think it can be stated any simpler than that. Let me come back online. What did he say? He said, replace the system or lose the planet. And he's absolutely right. Old Caucasian guy said it very plainly, very truthful. And I want us to, not put stock or too much stake or too much weight on hearing the truth from another culture and then putting more value in that than our own elders telling us something like that, right? Because we've been promoting that. We've been spitting that for some time. But since you heard it from the very demographic, you're talking about an old Caucasian male. That is the very demographic that was utilized, that was puppeteered into ushering in this entire, what is this? What is a term for it? Industrial Revolution slave system. Because that's what everything we've been talking about today, that's what it is. We're talking about the Industrial Revolution, allegedly, and everything that it produced. But when we really think about, we heard about that in school. We learned about it a little bit, right? But we didn't learn about what it took for it to actually come into fruition. We didn't learn about how all of the inventions that were produced by our people and some other Caucasian people around the world and any other culture around the world was taken, stolen, patented, and then turned into an assembly system style production and politically alchemized to get people in and work those jobs in practically a slavery system. And that's what he's talking about, that we have to replace. That's the same system. Every time you go out, see, now it's kind of hidden. Every time you go outside, you see civilization all around you. You see things working, moving, producing, whatever. But you don't know what it takes to get that in front of you. We don't have much of an idea. Unless you work in one of them jobs, right? Unless you work in one of them jobs and you ain't making nowhere near enough money to take care of yourself in this ever inflating economy that they keep talking about. Well, if the more money you make, the more we got to raise prices. Ain't that the bottom line of inflation? The more money you make, if we raise minimum wage, that means McDonald's got to go up to $20 for a Big Mac, right? And and that's a game that they're gonna keep playing with you. They're gonna keep playing that game with you so long as you're willing to abide by it, so long as you're willing to agree to it. Because that's really all they can do, is ask you to agree. Even when it seems as if they forced the paradigm on you, forced that situation on you. Mind you, family, it ain't nothing but like, they're literally called the 1% or less. There's a whole lot more of us than it is of them. A whole lot more. So much so to the point of where they had to, create this entire illusion of a system to hide behind, an entire illusion of authority and punishment. So they can hide behind that. So when you get to the point to where you say, fuck all of this, we finna go burn something up, you think twice about that. You can't get, your fellow constituent who lives next door to you, or the one that you work with, or the one that you go to church with. You can't get them to agree to say, man, we finna go take all this back because we sick of this. This is a painful way to live every day. But you can't get your people. You can't get your counterparts to arm up with you. But this is why we created the United Aboriginal American Republic. Everybody over here is on that same tip. Everybody's tired. Everybody said, look, I don't want to live that lifestyle no more. I came over here to live a whole new way of life. Everybody in the tribe, usually when people talk to me in the tribe, they asking me one or two things. Hey, Dre, how we get free? How we make us free? I'm telling you, that is my day-to-day conversation with the many nationals we have across the nation in our tribe. Every day. So our levels of producing, regaining confidence back in that. While Empress Shaz was talking about the sugar, I looked it up. I was trying to figure out if where was the major source of sugar at. No matter, it's from Southeast Asia somewhere. That's neither here nor there. Either way, but you can plant sugar cane practically anywhere in any tropical region around the world, right? But alternatives though, and Dad has been doing this. Recently, he started bringing in agave to the house. I was like, what the hell is this shit? Right? Sweet. And so I looked up, I was like, okay, so agave sweetness is more natural. And let's say less, sugar cane is natural too, but agave itself has much less of an addictive property to it. Also honey. I use practically honey and sugar on it. Honey and agave on everything now, pretty much. I don't really, eat too much sugar no more. But anyway, getting back to the point, what are we doing? What are we doing at the United Aboriginal American Republic? I tell everybody all the time, our main goals, our main mission statement is land acquisition, installation of our tribal jurisdiction over the land, meaning you know, I tell our family all the time, I said, listen, we have a tribal government. There's no hierarchy here. I said, when we say we the people, we mean that shit. If you are a part of the United Aboriginal American Republic as a national, that means you are the tribal government. That means you are the government. We the people are the government. And again, we mean that shit. Or they don't mean it over there when they say they just pump faking on you. But we mean it over here. Installation of tribal jurisdiction over the land so that you would have a rightful say and ability to contribute to what your community develops into. Because you don't have that. You don't have that in your community right now. Right now, you don't even know your neighbors like that for real. You don't know your neighbors. I mean, just when you think about it, when you drive up and down your street, there's a potential, depending on what neighborhood you live in, I get it, but there's a potential that you're going to see, especially during election seasons. You're going to see signs of 2 different or 3 different or 4 different candidates in other people's yards. That means your neighbors don't have the same political view that you have. That means y'all gonna be voting for the illusion of inclusion for some resources. And y'all see where I'm going with this. So how important is it to have a galvanized mind of people under one jurisdiction who have a clear path on what they want to develop for themselves so that they can maintain their family and thus give a better platform for the next generations to take off with, because that's when it comes down to it, that's what this is all about. We'll have fun building our jurisdiction, but it's really going to be who's going to benefit from it very greatly, the children. We'll have fun building it. Like I say it all the time, we're gonna have fun laying that foundation, right? We don't plan on slaving. We don't plan on work. Let me say it like this: we're gonna work smart. We're not gonna work hard to develop our jurisdictions. And last but not least, most importantly, our infrastructure. That's what Brother Seven was talking about earlier, right? All of our infrastructure, our residential, commercial, agricultural, and industrial infrastructure. We've been doing it, and when I say this to people, I'm not saying people don't understand me, but sometimes I feel like I don't get the response I'm looking for, maybe. I mean, wanting to be excited about, you know what I'm saying, us getting and building something out of brick one. I mean, because again, we do not have to work hard, family. We just have to work smart. But I'll say this. I mean, people may not be as excited as I would like them to be, and I'll be excited because I got a background in construction. Building is fun to me. My dad gave me some Legos at like age 5. You should have saw the stuff I was putting together as a kid. 4. Okay, there you go. You imagine I had a Lego little outposted community all over the living room and around the house and shit. Building is fun to me. I would like it to be fun to you too, family. And so when I say this, so when we're talking about our infrastructure, that means, look, fam, we got 13 ministerial departments in our government that need fulfillment. That means everything that all of y'all do, every skill set that you have, every goal, ambition, dream that you have, it has a place here because we have to build a new society for us. So all of your skill sets matter. What I do is not enough to sustain all of us. Right? I know how to put the lights, the water in, the foundation. I know how to put the basic stuff in order, but that's just me making a house. Family, you have to make it a home. I mean, you have to make it a home. So, because I know you're gonna ask me this, Andre, how they get involved with UAAR? Go to so we're gonna drop all the links, and family, family on the panel, help me out if I missed any of them. So go to uarnation.com. Go to uarnation.org, UAAR Nation, both sites. For the uarnation.org, that's for our nationality and major operations that we're doing with the UAAR tribe. But for the things that are happening right now, go to uarnation.com. right? Go to uarnation.com and get involved the way you see fit, because your contribution is absolutely needed and necessary. And we look forward to walking this journey with you, family. I'm gonna land it right there because I know we're coming short on time.
Okay, so Shaz and I, we have Seven and Andre Jr. These are the generations that we feel responsible for, because we know what's coming, and we know we have to back them. We have to bring integrity to their movement, because typically, if when they go out and talk to the other generation, they go, you trying to play a con game. No, we're behind you. And so here's something that we are doing right now. This Caucasian man said we got to replace the system. So we are setting up a credit union. I know there are credit unions out there, and a lot of our people, but if it's not attached to an Aboriginal movement, it's going to go down with the other demons. And so to the silent ones born in the 40s, to the gatekeepers born in the 50s and in the 60s, we're opening up the credit union. Open up your account for your children, $100, $200. Send it to the UAAR Nation. Here's what we're going to do. I've already spoken to our jurisdiction, the Juris Dr. Andre Jr., and Shaz the Seven is already pulling all the pieces together for the stock market and all that. But we will open up an account in your name for your children, silent ones, gatekeepers. Here's your redemption. All right. And we will put that money in an escrow account. Seven will issue a certificate for your children, to give them priority with moving on to the property, with the training and all of that sort of thing. We'll give them priority. And I've spoken to Andre Jr. He will even discount the status correction. That's the start of setting up, letting the United States government, who's been pimping us for 400 years, let them know we're no longer going with their crap, and we are establishing our Aboriginal nationality. So this fund will, now, for all of those gatekeepers and silent ones that's sitting back, man, I sure hope y'all feel y'all gonna prove me wrong. Listen, it ain't about that anymore. Do this for your children. And any of you silent ones or gatekeepers that are PhD, we invite you to submit your paperwork in to the council to come in as an auditor over these accounts, because I know you want to say, no, if you put money in there, they're gonna steal it. And so we're not gonna give you that opportunity to say that, because you're going to be an overseer from the Council of Elders to make sure that the funds are being appropriated for what we say we're going to do with them. All right. So Seven and Andre Jr., if you two guys, so when they set up the credit union, that gives us leverage, that gives us a financial institution that we can work on an international level to have leverage, because these pretendians and these people that came here 400 years ago to mess with our land, they're only gonna try to recognize tribes that's gonna bend over and kiss their butt. They don't want to deal with a tribe like us that's sincere. So we need to build a solid nation, a solid foundation, an economic one, because your USD is in trouble. You see what that old man said. They get ready to switch it up. So at least you can start transferring that currency before it loses value. So Seven, can you verify the need for the credit union that's going to tie into the stock market? And Andre Jr., can you verify that what you're going to give them a break on their membership or their status correction?
Absolutely, Chief. We can't expect We can't expect a movement without a place for the people to move to. Right? So we are building these infrastructures securely. There is no, it doesn't behoove us to rob you if the nation involves you, because there would be nowhere for us to hide. You know what I mean? And you can trust it because each of us have our own dominions, and we've been taking care of those dominions for quite some time prior to the formation of the UAAR, prior to the formation of the invitation to the UAAR, right? When the UAAR nation invites you to the platform of leadership, they are actually doing their due diligence. They're looking at how you are as a person in society. They're looking at, how you are as a family-oriented individual. Are you a truth teller, right? And so because of those things, we have gained the trust of leadership. We have gained, the unity of this ecosystem. And so if in fact this is to work, then we have to create viable, right, lanes for our people to maneuver into, to move into. It's no need to be afraid of what's going to happen to the USD when we're able to create our own form of currency and exchange. And yes, it takes some time, but until that time, wouldn't it feel great to be with a body of people who actually have a plan? Right? They say a man without a plan is doomed to fail, right? In the land of the one-armed king, in the land of the lame, the one-armed man is king, right? In the land of the lame, the one-armed man is king. We got one arm in this game. Give us a part of your arm and we'll have two. I'll land the plane.
Indeed. Greatly said, brother. Greatly said. So speaking on the point that you said as well, Dad, discount on nationality. Let me tell y'all something, family. As the chief jurist, I draft most of the templates and I manage most of the nationalization process, right? And when I linked with Brother Yasan, shout out to Brother Chief Yasan, me and him had a quick conversation, a brief conversation, our initial conversation on how we're going to collaborate and make the nationality process simple, easy, and affordable. And we did that right off the bat. It wasn't even much of a conversation. Right? We said, all right, what price do we need to put it at to where people can afford it? Because we understand what position we in out here, family, when it comes to this economic system. Right? We understand exactly what we wanted to make it affordable. We made it affordable. And still, I'm always trying to figure out ways to add more value to the nationalization status. Right? Now, so when we're talking about family, you coming in and putting money in a pot, again, we have just between me and Pops alone, but let alone everybody else on the elder council, everybody else in any administrative seat in the tribe. All of us have background in whatever profession, to where if we put together a plan, we also understand a plan that has to show transparency, right? Take for instance, in the construction industry, we have to account by where money is being spent phase by phase of every step of the building project. That's how we present any project that we would say, family, this is what we need to invest in. You don't have to worry about accountability and transparency. I'll say it like this: we don't want to be that tribe to where we done put money somewhere, it ain't got no transparency to it, and everybody else calling us frauds online. We don't want to be that tribe, and we won't be that tribe. Right? We won't be that tribe. Any project that we put on the table, it would have empirical and tangible results and milestones to it. All right, have empirical and tangible results and milestones to it, and an account oversight. So no, you don't have to worry about us stealing your money. And again, we're talking about actually building a physical nation that you can move to. Just like Brother Seven said, we can't build that after we done stole your money and then go live and act like you can't pull up on us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That just doesn't, it don't make sense, right? So, you know, we're not, we're not putting together no pyramid schemes. We're not putting together nothing to where the money is going somewhere in some type of only intellectual property type situation. No, we want to build something that y'all can taste, feel, smell, digest for real.
Absolutely.
So landing the plane on this is consolidating everything I'm saying. Nationality is a basic step to a basic step forward to you wanting to build a self-sustainable world for you and your family. But that's really what it boils down to, right? Nationality is not an issue. I'm much more concerned. I'm just saying this individual as a chief jurist. I'm really not even concerned about your will to be nationalized. I'm more concerned about your will to want to be as high vibratory as you can possibly be and live self-sustainable as you can possibly be. Going back to what the Caucasian man said, Caucasian male guy said, he said, you have to crash this system, get rid of it, or you lose the planet.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, so you losing the planet is not an option. It's simply not an option. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Because you're a part of this body, you're a part of the planet, regardless of what religion you believe in. You know, if the Most High, however you see that force and that entity, is the curator of this planet, and you are a part of the body of the planet, and you are the Most High itself, you can't lose the planet. It's not an option.
Can't lose the planet.
Right? So the only option we have, obviously, is to get rid of this system. Get rid of this fake slavery illusion, which is turning into a transhuman world. That's what they want to turn it into. That's what they want to turn it. But they can give a damn about the planet. Just so long as it stays intact enough for them to exist, they'll still trash it, despite you.
Absolutely.
Right. So landing it right there, family. You know, everything that we do is about again, just raising your vibration, being on the most high frequency of love you can possibly be on. And of course, that is in turn going to give you the ability to cultivate your community and your environment around you. So I'll land right there.
All right. So as we're wrapping up, we're going to take it to Shaz with her final thoughts. And I'm going to make a quick announcement. Once again, we're going to create an escrow account. And we're setting up that. I talked to Seven. We're setting up that in credit union immediately. Your money goes into escrow. Escrow account means the money goes there and it sits there until the tribe, the elders, appropriate it for a specific development. And it has to be proven. Any development has to be proven it's going to give a return on your investment, whether it's for your children or an interest percentage or whatever the case. Seven will go into those details on another show, or when you sign up to join the UAAR Collective, you'll be invited to our meetings, no matter where you are, Zoom meetings once a month to give your input. So also next week, I'm going to talk about the OR, because the other thing that our people, man, I'm afraid of massive will whoop us. So to those silent ones and to the gatekeepers that's worried about that, you know, I found the OR. I found something that reflects back onto the experience I had when I went into the light. So we're going to talk about that next week. But we are protected. We are protected, and there's a system, there's a combination how we access that protection. And I promise you, it ain't through these religions. All right, Shaz, go ahead and give me your final thoughts.
Yes, my final thought. First, to begin, freedom is not free. It never was. And we need to have that mindset that freedom ain't free. Freedom without money is just anxiety with more time to think about it. So we have to get into the mindset of contributing towards building and towards creating our safe space and being free, being, having our own liberation, right? That is important because it's not going to happen just by praying about it and thinking about it. We're going to need the funds to be able to do the things that we need to do to gain our independence and to I should say, segregate ourselves or amputate them from us. Either which way is going to take funding. So please have that mindset. It doesn't matter if it's $5, if it's $10, if it's $20, okay? Whatever you can afford to contribute to the UAAR movement, every penny is valuable. We are not in your pockets. Every penny is valuable. And so sometimes we have to make the sacrifice if we really want it to happen. Or we might say we want to compromise on the things that we think that are important to us as to what is really important to us. So if you've been viewing this live and you like what you're seeing, please hit like, please follow us, and share this video. Share it because it's going to be up. Share it, enlighten your friends, set an awakening so people know what is happening. They're not out. We are not the only people thinking this way, just that some people don't know where to go. So we are the place. Our doors are open, our arms are open to receive you and embrace you, and we're here to protect you in love and guidance and in spirit. And land.
All right. Hey, Deputy Chief Seven, give me your final thoughts, and we'll turn it over to the chief jurors to close us out.
I am elated. The ecosystem that's being built. It's one thing to say, hey, this is what you should be doing and have no outlet for you. We are building that ecosystem for you to be able to thrive, right? So there's no more need of anger. There's no more need of malice. Now it's about proper planning and execution, right? And like the chief juror said, we have a place for you. This is not about, robbing you. We rather you come with your gifts. We rather you come and bless our community because this is what we have to leave behind for those next generations. I land the plane.
Right, all right. I think it's been an excellent show. I don't think I can say it any better than Empress Shaz and Brother Seven has said it. We welcome you here because we also understand that more than likely you are the black sheep of your family. And I tell everybody, we a whole tribe full of black sheep over here. We a black sheep tribe. Y'all come see it, come check us out. And you'd be, I think you'd be, excited to be among the many people who think, feel, and have the same desires that you have, right? As far as, how you're going to navigate this earthly realm. We shout out to the comment section. We appreciate everybody chiming in and contributing. And, one sister said, I appreciate you, Nasoma 8828. So I put the link in the chat, the one that's actually for the nationality. I understand, we've got, many online platforms. Well, not many, we have 2. That's how many we got. We have 2, that's it. So matter of fact, let me bring that back. We have 2, UAARnation.com, which will lead you to UAARnation.org. But they are both 2 separate sites. You can go on to either one of them, but go to UAARnation.com first, check out everything that's going on there. Proceed to UAARnation.org if you are interested in nationality. If you are, it's an easy. I'm gonna say this: it's $250, right? $250 for nationalization, and you will at some point in the process have a conversation with me if you have any questions on anything. My chief administrator, Giselle, she's laid out all kinds of ways to where you can get in contact with me. You can set up a consultation, so forth, and I'll talk to you about anything regarding this whole movement. I'll do that. That's how accessible we are. But yeah, so family, you got it. Go to those links, get in contact with us. Bring all of you to the cookout. because we know you got some good barbecue to put on the table. You see what I'm saying? And we trust. Look, we trust your potato salad because we ain't invited nobody who can't make potato salad. If you know what I mean.
You don't want raisins in the potato salad?
We don't do raisins in the potato salad. So nobody's. I can guarantee you, nobody's bringing raisins, potato salad to our cookout.
Yeah,
I feel what I'm saying. You may have some vegan ribs before you have that, but either way, you come over here, you gonna eat. So this has been the Straight Talk Network show. We love y'all as always. Peace, and we'll see you next week.
Peace out.
peace.